April 1945, a POW camp outside Munich. The American mess sergeant was confused. He'd just served lunch to 200 German prisoners. Standard rations, bread, soup, canned meat. Good food, better than what most Germans were eating. But the prisoners weren't eating. They were sitting there, staring at their trays, not touching anything. The sergeant walked over to the nearest prisoner. "What's wrong with the food?" The German looked up. Didn't seem angry, just disgusted. "This is not proper food," he said in broken English. "We are German soldiers. We cannot eat this." The sergeant blinked. "You're refusing to eat?" "Yes, this food is beneath us." The sergeant reported it to his commanding officer, who reported it to his commanding officer. By the next morning it was on Patton's desk. 200 German POWs, refusing American food, because they thought it was beneath them. This is what Patton did. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe. We tell the stories about World War II that show what happened when pride met reality. The mess sergeant's name was Staff Sergeant Michael O'Brien, Boston, 32 years old. He'd been running POW camp kitchens for 6 months. He'd seen a lot of things. Prisoners who were grateful for food, prisoners who cried when they saw real bread, prisoners who ate so fast they made themselves sick. But he'd never seen prisoners refuse to eat, especially good food. The rations he'd served that day were standard American military issue: white bread, vegetable soup with real meat, canned beef, coffee, sugar. In April 1945, most German civilians would have killed for that meal. The country was starving, cities were rubble, supply lines were destroyed. But these 200 prisoners, all from the same unit, the 1116th Panzer Division, they sat there like they'd been served garbage. O'Brien walked down the line, trying to understand. "Is the food spoiled? Did we cook it wrong?" A German corporal answered. He spoke better English than the others. "The food is not spoiled. It is simply not acceptable. We are soldiers of the Wehrmacht. We have standards." O'Brien stared at him. "Standards? You lost the war. You're prisoners. This is good food." The corporal's expression didn't change. "We would prefer German rations, or nothing." O'Brien reported it to Lieutenant James Parker, the camp's executive officer. Chicago, 26 years old. Parker came to the mess hall, looked at 200 full trays, 200 Germans sitting with their arms crossed. He tried reasoning with them. "Gentlemen, this food is provided under the Geneva Convention. It's good food, you need to eat." The corporal stood, spoke for the group. "Lieutenant, we appreciate that you are following the conventions, but we cannot accept American food. It is not what German soldiers eat. We request German military rations, or we will not eat." Parker looked at the mess hall, the wasted food, the attitude. "Let me get this straight. You're refusing to eat, not because the food is bad, but because it's not German." "Correct. You understand your prisoners. You don't get to make demands." The corporal's face was calm. "We are not making demands. We are simply choosing not to eat food that is beneath our standards." Parker walked out, went straight to the camp commander, Colonel Robert Hayes, Philadelphia, 41 years old, career officer. Hayes listened to the report, walked to the mess hall, saw it himself. 200 Germans, sitting, not eating, arms crossed, waiting. Hayes addressed them directly. "I'm told you're refusing this food. I want to understand why." The corporal stood again. "Colonel, with respect, this food is not appropriate for German soldiers. We maintained certain standards during the war. We wish to maintain them now." Hayes was quiet for a moment. "You maintained standards while you were losing?" "We fought with honor, sir. And now you're hungry, but too proud to eat American food. We would simply prefer German rations, as we are German soldiers." Hayes looked at the full trays, the waste, the arrogance. He made a decision. "Fine, you don't have to eat American food. Sergeant O'Brien, remove all the food. Don't serve this unit anything. They've refused our rations. We'll respect that choice." The Germans looked confused. The corporal spoke up. "Sir, we simply request German military rations instead." Hayes turned to him. "We don't have German rations. We have American rations. You've refused them, so you get nothing. Dismissed." The guards cleared the mess hall. The Germans were sent back to their barracks. Still hungry, O'Brien asked Hayes, "Sir, how long do we withhold food? Until they eat what we serve them? Or until I get different orders?" That afternoon, Hayes wrote a report, detailed what happened, sent it up the chain. It reached division headquarters. Then course. By the next morning, it was sitting on Patton's desk at 3rd Army headquarters. Patton read it over breakfast. His face got harder with each line. His aide was standing nearby, waiting. Patton put the report down. 200 Germans refusing American food because they think it's beneath them. Yes, sir. Camp commander has suspended their rations, waiting for guidance. Patton was quiet, thinking. Then he picked up a pen, wrote directly on the report. Maintain current status, no food until they accept what is offered. I will visit the camp personally in 72 hours. If they have not eaten by then, I will address them myself. Minieri GSP. He handed it back to his aide. Send that immediately. Sir, 72 hours is 3 days. The Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention requires we provide food, we're providing it. They're refusing it. That's their choice. Send the order. The aide sent it. Back at the camp, Colonel Hayes received Patton's response. Read it. Called his staff together. General Patton has given explicit orders. No food for the 116th Panzer Unit until they accept American rations. He'll be here in 3 days. Lieutenant Parker asked, Sir, what if they don't break? Then General Patton will handle it personally. The first day was easy for the Germans. They were used to missing meals. They'd fought on empty stomachs before. A few hours without food was nothing. They sat in their barracks, talking, joking. Some even sang songs, Wehrmacht marching songs, like they were proving a point. The American guards watched, said nothing. By evening, some of the younger prisoners were getting hungry, really hungry, but the older ones kept them in line. The corporal, whose name was Ernst Weber, addressed the group. Remember who we are. We are soldiers of the Wehrmacht. We do not beg. We do not break. We maintain our standards, even here. The prisoners nodded. Agreed. Proud. The second day was harder. The mess hall was right next to their barracks. They could smell food being cooked, for the other prisoners, for the American guards, fresh bread, coffee, meat. Some of the younger Germans stood by the windows, watching, stomachs growling. Weber kept them together. This is a test of will. The Americans think we will break, we will show them German discipline. But by the second night, the joking had stopped. The singing had stopped. The prisoners were just sitting, staring, thinking about food. One of them, a young private named Klaus, approached Weber. Corporal, some of us are very hungry. Perhaps we could... No, we made our position clear. We stand by it. But Corporal, it's just food. It doesn't mean... It means everything. We are not animals. We are soldiers. Act like it. Klaus went back to his bunk, lay down, tried to sleep. His stomach hurt. The third day was different. The prisoners woke up weak, dizzy. Some couldn't stand without help. The smell from the mess hall was torture now. They could hear other prisoners eating, talking, laughing. But the 1116th Panzer Unit sat in silence, hungry, waiting. That afternoon, a jeep pulled up to the camp. Patton got out. Colonel Hayes met him at the gate. Sir, the situation is unchanged. They still haven't eaten. 3 days? Yes, sir. 3 full days. How are they? Weak, hungry, but still refusing. Patton nodded. Take me to them. Hayes led him to the barracks, opened the door. 200 German prisoners, sitting on bunks, standing by windows, all of them thin, weak, hungry. They saw Patton, saw the 4 stars, slowly stood to attention. Even weak, they had discipline. Patton walked to the center of the room, looked at them up. I'm told you've been refusing food for 3 days, because American rations are beneath you. Corporal Weber stepped forward. General, we simply maintain our standards as German soldiers. Patton looked at him. Standards, you're starving, but you have standards. Yes, sir. Let me tell you about standards. I've been fighting you people for 3 years. France, North Africa, Sicily, Germany. You know what I learned? Weber said nothing. You're good soldiers, disciplined, tough. I respect that. The Germans looked surprised. But you lost. You know why? Because discipline without sense is just stupidity, and right now you're being stupid. Weber's face tightened. Sir, you're sitting here starving, while food is available. Good food, because you think it's beneath you. That's not discipline, that's pride, and pride is worthless when you're dead. Patton turned to address all of them. Here's reality. The war is over. You lost. Your country is destroyed. Your army is gone. Most of you probably don't have homes to go back to, but you're alive, and we're feeding you. Better food than most Germans are eating right now. He paused. Let that sink in. I've seen German cities, Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich, rubble. Your people are starving in the streets, eating whatever they can find, and you're sitting here, in a camp, with beds, with shelter, with food being offered, and you're refusing it, because of pride. Another pause. You can keep your standards, sit here and starve, prove whatever point you think you're proving. Or you can eat, survive, go home when this is over, help rebuild your country, help your families, your choice. The room was silent. Patton turned to Weber. What's it going to be, Corporal? Weber stood there, every eye on him, the weight of 3 days, the weight of 200 men waiting for his answer. Finally he spoke. If we eat, do we have your respect as soldiers? Patton looked at him. You have my respect because you stood by your men for 3 days, even when it was stupid. That takes guts. But respect doesn't fill your stomach. Make the smart choice. Weber was quiet, then nodded slowly. We will eat. Patton turned to Colonel Hayes. Serve them. Same rations as everyone else. Within an hour, the mess hall was full. 200 Germans eating American bread, American soup, American coffee. Some of them cried while they ate. Some couldn't eat fast enough. Some ate slowly, savoring every bite. Weber sat with his men, eating, quiet. Lieutenant Parker stood nearby, watching. He leaned over to Sergeant O'Brien. 3 days, all because they thought American food was beneath them. O'Brien nodded, and one speech from Patton broke them. He didn't break them. He gave them permission to let go. The 1116th Panzer Unit never refused food again. They ate what was served, survived. Most of them went home when the war ended. Years later, some of them told the story about the 3 days they refused to eat, about Patton coming to the camp. One of them, Klaus, the young private, said it changed how he thought about everything. We thought refusing made us strong. Patton showed us it just made us hungry. Real strength is knowing when to let go of pride. Patton never mentioned the incident in his diary, never talked about it publicly. For him it was simple. Stupid pride gets people killed. Smart soldiers stay alive. Would you have broken after 3 days? Or would you have kept refusing? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories about World War II and the moments when pride met reality, make sure to subscribe